Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our stream. Welcome to Sunday night. We, of course, are about to talk about and jump into episode 7, which I guess gladly for us was a joint double episode tonight. We did have the space up in the air, the space rockets, and then, of course, the ping pong ball challenge. But there also was an elimination. And well, I guess as always, we do have the two jokers, the two legends with us each and every night. But tonight, something a little bit different. Tonight we can get deep. Tonight we can chuck a brick man and shed some tears because, of course, we do have Mr. Eliminated, aka Henry.
Thanks, Bilsy.
My man! Finally, your time's come. You know the first. How would I put it? How's it feel to get eliminated, buddy?
Yeah, bro, I've never been there, right? It's weird. It's a weird feeling,
mate. It definitely is a sucky feeling. Even watching it, having that second hand, that second hand, where we feel your pain, we feel the the frustration, the last minute, it definitely gets a bit touchy, and you got to think seven episodes down, and one thing that a lot of people do ask me is does Brickman really get that emotional? Like, is it real? Is it genuine? Like, yeah, mate, the dude gets cut. Like, how can you not?
Yeah, you can't fake that sort of emotion, right? It's really, and bro, when they were doing the voxies for me on that last part, I was pretty close. I could feel the emotion coming up, and I was like, let's get these interviews over and done with. Come on, let's hurry it up because I'm gonna break in a sec.
It's because you know what too, it doesn't help that it's so tight knitted filming that you live together, you breathe. Have I frozen?
Yeah, you have.
All right, but you can still hear me.
I can still hear you.
Yeah. That's right. I'll see what I can do on this end with the camera.
That would be the hardest part of it all is how close you guys got during the challenges and between the filming and having to say goodbye and how I think it was asked in the chat already, but how cut were you didn't get to meet Mickey Mouse? Like, man.
What are you talking about? He built with Mickey Mouse for the first couple of episodes. He was working with Trent. I have just seen a comment then that it kind of sucks that the first two teams to go kind of had season 1 contestants. And, also, it also goes to show that the first two teams eliminated were also the two teams that weren't with their original partner.
That's right.
Yeah. It's really hard to learn even under a normal season, right? You probably have, it's still immense pressure, but you probably don't feel as overwhelmed, right? Because you could do a bad build and it's not technically the worst build in the room, right? Like if you slip up even a little bit, it's the worst build in the room straight away, right? And then you feel like absolute crap, right? I know that Sarah and I were feeling really, we had a lot of momentum coming out of that zombie build on the roller coasters. We felt really good, and then bad build. No, we were okay with the window washer, but then we had the bad build with the Secrets and Mysteries, and then you go into this build and you're like, oh man, nothing's working, nothing's like firing, and even the Rocket Man, we can talk about the rocket for a sec. Even the rockets, man, there was a massive element of chance with those rockets. If you probably can't tell with the TV editing, but the rockets had a fuse in them, right? That there was 2 fuses, the launching fuse, which that's fine. But then there's the second explosion, which is actually an explosion that pops the top off, right?
Yeah.
And that's the second fuse. and then it all goes off at different times, right? So if your rocket launched directly straight and you managed to get the fuse to pop off before the rocket started to go on its downward trajectory, you're pretty much sweet. But if the fuse went on too long and the rocket started to dip, it'd push it the other way and explode it. And it was like, oh man. And that's what happened to ours.
Okay.
And so that was one of the big things that was wrong with the rocket, in my opinion. Like, it was just a massive element of chance. And like, the fuses just, even though they're on timers, for whatever reason, some took longer than others, because almost everyone probably got to 350 grams in a way, and all the rockets got to the right heights. Oh, sorry, all the rockets got to different heights, but just for whatever reason, they explode all in different ways. And I was pretty like annoyed that there was such two challenges with such big chance elements in a row.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what was like, man.
And it's funny because we talked about it last episode. Remember, we were saying like, it was finally good that it was a genuine Lego only challenge. There was no fancy whatever theatrical kinetic stuff around it. That this is how it's come out. Although both challenges were still kind of cool. At the end of the day, like the shooting rocket with Lego in the air is pretty cool. And even though if you're in that Lego realm and you're a Lego nerd, everybody knows about GBCs. But even using ping pong balls, it was still pretty cool. Like, it was a
cool challenge.
It was a cool challenge. It was a good challenge, but the times are brutal, man. Like 10 hours, 7 hours, all these really short challenges. It's not long, man. Like, bro, if you had 15 hours for that challenge, it'd be a totally different ball game. Totally different ball game.
It wasn't the first one only 4 hours or something, the rocket? 5 hours?
Like 4 hours? 5 hours, yeah. I
Um,
wonder if we'll see GBCs with ping pong balls at shows now based on that. Something different, like different scale of GBCs.
Maybe we could call Rowan, GBC Rowan, and see how he feels about it.
Yeah, true.
I think on the back of this challenge, I think they're going to do a Lego Masters Thailand. So just keep your eyes out.
Oh, you took it there.
You were thinking it. You're all thinking it. You're all sick.
Bro, look,
you're all sick.
Brickles should have done a Thai-themed ping pong ball, mate.
Yeah,
as if that joke wasn't running around the studio at the day at time.
It was everywhere. It was rampant.
The Thailand version would definitely be more popping.
Definitely. Fleur, and over on Facebook called you a legend, man. So shout out to Fleur as well.
Yeah, shout out Fleur.
Good on you, Fleur. You're a sweetheart.
You bloody legend. So let's before we dig into the ping pong balls. Hey Andy, how are you, brother? Let's talk about the rocket, the rocket ship. The first one's off the rocket. I'll run through them really quick. Then we'll talk about which ones each of us liked and your ones as well. Andrew and Damo had the shark with the lasers. Obviously, you had the rocket, the actual rocket man. Scotty and Owen had the chicken man, as you can see behind me. Gabby and Ryan had the egg with the little chicken things around it. Alex and Caleb had the daredevil dude that was strapped, or whatever the story was there. Joss and Henry had that big thumbs up, thumbs down, and then Gus and Dave had that eagle. As far as the time and what they built, man, Dave and Gus, that eagle looked pretty freaking cool. Like for what?
Man.
Man.
Like
pretty
awesome.
bloody. I don't have a photo of it to show everybody, but God, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the eagle was mad, and it actually just like. I don't think it did. It break up when the second fuse went off. I can't remember.
I think it did. I think it did.
Yeah. See, so like it's just because some of them just nothing happened when the second fuse popped off, and some of them like Caleb and Alex's one was really compact, and we didn't think it was going to survive. Well, I didn't think it was going to survive the second fuse, but then by chance it was like, it was great.
I'm just trying to. I think I found the right timing for it. Here we go. Oh, of course. It went to an
Perfect timing, that.
How crazy is... Look how sunburnt everyone gets, man. Like, everyone got absolutely annihilated. When you look closely, when everyone's back doing the ping pong, oh, man, everyone's roasted.
Yeah,
how long were you out there for?
The whole day.
The whole day.
The whole day.
Here we go. Come on. I can't remember whose one it was as well, but one of the rockets, like you said about that. Yeah, look, their fuse.
Yeah, see,
leant over a little bit.
Yeah, see, and then see, like when it does that, it's almost guaranteed to smash.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there was one of them that popped off perfectly, like bang, right at the top.
I think it was Alex and Caleb's.
Yeah, at the apex of the explosion.
I'll see if I can find it and get onto it. But I think it was Gabby and Ryan's egg that kind of come down. Looks like it was like the whole rocket was in another suburb and then exploded even more again.
Yeah.
Man, where we were, there were residential houses like around it. And I swear, I think one of them went into someone's backyard. It was pretty funny.
Right, here we go. So you go straight up, still pointing up. Still, yeah,
yeah. See, perfect, perfect.
How perfect is that?
That is perfect.
And then, yeah, not one brick fell off.
Rigged.
But see, I'm assuming as well, like that comes down to having your balance of what you built too. Would have helped.
Yeah.
Look, man, they told us 350 grams, but I feel like that maybe, I don't know, like I can't speak for the other teams. I don't know if everyone went to 350 grams, right? Like Alex's one and Caleb's one was definitely smaller, but I don't know, like maybe 350 grams is too heavy because I remember very specifically ours was like 350 grams on the dot. Like it was perfect. So I thought, sweet, it's going to do what it needs to do. And even wind resistance wise, right? Like I thought ours, was the shape like a rocket. It should be all right?
Should be good, yeah. And this was all filmed in Sydney, eh?
Yeah.
All right, so let's watch your rocket head to Melbourne and then explode. Yeah, look, yours almost took off at angle straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look, next suburb,
Bang.
see you later, and we're shooting you out the side.
Oh man, mine landed on the shed, on the like there's a pavilion there, and the pavilion roof, bang, it smashed the pavilion roof. And we never got it back. See, the other half that's missing, we never got it back. It's just on somebody's roof.
Wow. So it looks like you're in the middle of a great big field.
Yeah, it's like an equestrian field. There's all like that's a equestrian paddock.
And then the boys with the thumbs up, thumbs down, and then you did your little transport.
How good is it? How good is the thumbs up, thumbs down? That was so good. I thought that was hilarious.
Great idea.
Clearly, just going for the Hamish-ish humor and the bonus point. So well played.
Yeah, but didn't Andrew and Damien win that one with the shark?
Yeah, but like the whole idea, they didn't go with a rocket or some sort of transport thing. They went with purely what will Hamish like. It didn't work for them, but clever to think outside the box.
I like that you gave your 10-year-old self a bit of a shout out, a bit of a nod to your memory and the space rockets thing, man. That's, you know what though, it's a good story. It's a genuine story, obviously too. It works well.
Yeah, bro. I did a Star Wars thing.
Except for you forgot to say your 10-year-old self when I used to light up letterboxes with my rockets. But I knew where you were going.
I put bungers in my neighbors' letterboxes and let them explode.
You're like rockets. Stand back. Hold my beer.
I think we all did that, didn't we?
Brickles, what did the bonus point actually do? The bonus point
nothing
gave whoever won that not the bonus point but the Hamish point. That gave them Brickman for half an hour, I think. It was a half an hour to help build and design in the ball challenge.
No, because Joss and Henry didn't get that.
No, because Andrew and Damien won.
Yeah, they won it, but they didn't get the flare point. The flare point didn't actually do anything, did it? It didn't actually do anything.
I thought it was good point. Someone in the chat will tell us.
Yeah, flare point does nothing. It was just nothing.
That's actually a good point. Anyway, either way, Andrew and Damien got the Brickman build advantage for the next round. We'll talk about that shortly. So this scene, yeah, Lego Man, it did shit. This scene, walking in and seeing all the tubes everywhere. I did like Scotty's, what do you say? Hamsters. He thought hamsters. Like,
and how
man.
much he caught Owen off guard with the comment.
Oh yeah, man.
It was funny.
Conan Doodle said it was a plus point to their total score. So yeah, it was a plus point to the imaginary score that Brickman was going to give him at the end of the day anyway. So yeah, it meant nothing. Beck Diggity, if it was a 50-50 toss-up between the 2 points, Hamish's points would have mattered. Yeah, it would have mattered if Brickman told you what his points were.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so walking in the room, you did, you've seen all these tubes. Was it very quick and straight obvious what they were going to do, what they wanted?
Yeah, straight away. Everyone's just like, this is GBC for sure. For sure. Yeah. And it was just
your thoughts?
Oh, sheer terror, man. Sheer terror. Yeah, because oh man, look, I've said it before, like I'm not a technique whiz. Like I know techniques for robots and stuff, but
you're not a movement whiz.
I'm not a movement whiz, right? Like
you've never had a go at GBC or
nah, man, that's the one thing that I've never ever had a go of. Never built a GBC module. I was just like, this is shit. Like, great challenge, but I was again thinking, wow, like they're not wrong. This is the toughest elimination challenge, right? Like there's a massive element, because that's the other thing, right? When you do an elimination challenge, you want to make sure that the team that goes home, is they, it's just that's it. Like, it's really hard to have it like with such a, because they did it a couple of times where they said, if your ball doesn't make it around, you're automatically, that's it, you're gone. Yeah. And so, so everyone was just like, oh man, let's for me, in my mind, I was just like, well, let's just make sure it gets around A to B. I'm sure
of course.
that's it, right? And then, yeah, but like 10 hours as well, man. Like you don't even like, I would have loved to have done different mechanisms, like me personally, like other than a conveyor belt, but it's just too, like, I didn't have any time to experiment. No time to experiment. Yeah, okay. And the thing is, and sorry, Bilsy, the other thing is, you got to remember, it's a ping pong ball as well, right? It's not the standard GBC balls, right? Yeah. So you can't, like, even if you remember like standard GBC modules, it ain't gonna work. You got to build specific modules. That's what I was
going to say. You see, like you said, all the GBC guys probably going to go nuts and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of like the GBC balls have a certain weight. They drop a certain way. They're pretty accurate when they're not controlled. Like you kind of know what's going to happen.
They're nowhere near as bouncy.
Yeah. And a ping pong ball is literally it's got its own mind. So that adds to the element. So you've got to make sure you're building, I guess, bigger borders or more obvious channels or valleys or whatever you want to build, you know what I mean?
When we found out it was one ball as well, that was scary because you, again, remember with the GBC, you've got a ton of balls, right? You're moving stacks of balls and the other balls push the other balls along, right? That's true. It was like knowing that there's only one ball, there's no room for failure, right? Because if the ball gets stuck, normal GBC, right, you can send another 10 balls in and then it just pushes whatever you've got along the line. But you can't do that.
So we will start with yours before we start talking about everybody's. And I've got the video lined up, queued up, ready to watch the whole thing go around. But we'll dig into yours as well first. I noticed on yours you kept getting the start wrong. Like they highlighted that you kept what was going on?
Yeah.
In retrospect, I look back and I go, idiot, right? Like
stress,
it wasn't the stress, but I didn't realize, right? Like, so there was a part where, and again, the GBC people will know this, right? Because it starts off low, right? Like, so the entry point on every table is low, right? So you had to build something that could catch the ball at that low point and lift it up, right? And there's no system behind it, right? It's just at a measurement.
Yep.
It's not like it's perfectly 2 bricks or 3 bricks high or something like that, right? It's just there. And so what I was finding hard was originally I was like, I had the conveyor belt like sort of just lined up at the whole mouth, at the mouth of the entry hole. and it just takes the
Yeah.
ball, right? And first couple of times it took the ball, and I was like, sweet, this is great. And literally it was like an hour in, and I was like, oh man, I've solved this problem already. And then I tested it a few more times, and then it just didn't strike the same way every time, right? Like it's just random timing. So there's an element of, even when you put the gaps between the conveyor belt, where I don't know what the words are, the fingers where you're lifting it up. That's right. If it struck the wrong point, there'd be an element of the ball waiting there to be picked up, right? And then what happened is the ball would jam and the whole thing would just go. And then that's what the problem was, right? So then I needed to make sure that there was a platform where the ball could sit and sort of just get picked up, and no matter when it hit. But then it took me ages to figure out that you had to sort of have an interlocking way of so if the fingers are like two fingers, you'd have to have three prongs sort of in between it. I didn't know that. I've never seen the GVC.
So you're making like a thing and the prongs are like on a flat brick or something.
And the ball's just going bang, 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 and the ball's not getting picked up. You need to make sure the things are right in there and then lift it up. And then once I figured that out, I was like, oh man, I got it. But the timing's a little bit off on the show editing as well. It wasn't as a mad rush as it made it look. It was probably more like 4 hours, 5 hours to go that we solved that.
I mean, they've got to sell a good story. They've still got to sell a story.
Totally.
You got to get that. All right, let's. What I'll do, we'll play each table and we'll chat about. That way, it's easier, so can bring it back to us. So obviously, the first one was Scotty and Owen's windmill, which again, Scotty and Owen absolutely friggin' nailing.
Can you imagine how many bricks Owen laid in that time? Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable, man. The windmill looks absolutely insane. And
I will pause it when we can get a full shot of it. Like, you look at that.
Look at that.
Like, that's a lot of bricks, man. On top of trying to get everything else lined up correct as well.
Yeah.
And the best part about I figured the river, it tells a great story. Like the river part, I guess, is the easy, and then using the trees as your valley. You're laughing. Ping pong ain't going to bounce over top of that. You're pretty sweet there. To do the pickup mechanism, that's pretty impressive. Like, making sure that's right. But the bit that I loved here was the sideways drop. So dropping the ball into the top of this flute or sled, whatever you want to call it. But having it drop at a certain time, because you got to think it's had to be offset, so it wasn't hitting the windmill either.
That's right.
So they've had to offset their claws to drop it. Yeah, again, testing, obviously paid off for the boys.
And I'll say that Owen is an absolute legend, right? So I'll give away some of the series, some of the magic stuff, right? Like it was filmed over 2 days, right? And we almost had like half and half in over the 2 days. And by the second, after going home the first day, we didn't have much on our table, and I was proper stressed, right? And I did not go to sleep for straight 24 hours. Like I literally did not sleep that entire night. I just was planning for the next day what I think I could get done, and I did not sleep, right? Owen, knowing that I was frustrated, he actually came over and he was talking to me about and he was explaining to me how he was doing his pickup and how frustrated he was, and he was just like a mate to talk to, man. He's a legend. Like that's the camaraderie we had on the show, man. He was literally like saying, man, if you do it this way, this could work. If you do it, just giving me ideas as well. Like he was a legend.
That's cool.
Well, we'll see at the end if he cried when you left. So, all right, moving on. The boys was obviously testing.
And Brett, this is off its tits. This one, like, how good is this one?
Yeah,
I know someone else that made a mechanism similar to this. Just saying, but this mechanism is cool. But to have it, like I think Brickman even mentioned, to have a purely uncontrolled ball, to get it kind of similar and correct every time, and then for Gus to make that mechanism like this one here to set it and let it flow and sit in that right position, so bloody good. This, even when that one lands, when you watch it, I don't know if I can pause it. Watch where the ball actually hits the clown perfectly in the mouth as well. So you watch it goes like it's dead set on target, like done bloody amazing. And then you got to add to the suspense. The ball when he gets to this part starts dropping.
Their net is really well made too. Like it's literally string and robot arms. They've actually made the net.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you something crazy that happened. Before we did the official run, we did a dry run. The ball went in the hole, bang, straight in. But the cameras weren't rolling.
Yeah, that would have been bloody.
And it
awesome
was straight, like you couldn't believe it. It was like
was that the one that was caught on a phone?
Yes, it was caught on a phone, and it was just like bang. You know what I mean? Like it just went straight
let's hope
in the
they
hole.
upload it to some YouTube channel or something, somewhere else, because that'd be cool to watch.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, here we go.
See, that's the part that gets stuffing me up. That little entry thing. Yeah.
I don't know why it went all pixelated. Let's go again. There you go. But then, like in hindsight, once you watch it again now, you start thinking, oh, that's kind of, that was easy. That was it. But you know what the thing is as well? Like you look at yours and, fair enough, your green flute channel thing here is kind of very straightforward and simple. But like, look at all the cool gophers and all the stuff you got going on down the bottom that kind of gets lost in blurry depth of field.
Yeah.
Camera, yeah, man, it was a bit disappointing. Like on that side of the thing, we actually had a lot of stuff going on that side. You can see it in the background, like you said, it's blurred out, and we sort of started on that side, and that, like, just no, I'm not even going to say anything because it'll just.
So
I'll say something.
I'm looking at this now. Is this part here twisted, or is it just the whole lot's at the same angle?
No, it's all twisted. So see the little grey squares that are in the green, they're the ball joints, right? So because you needed the subtle curves to make sure that the fall was perfect, I put it all on ball joints so that you could twist it and sort of manipulate it. Because
I wish they showed that, man, because like someone that's not really into depth into Lego could be looking at this and going, oh, they've just built 2 or 3 plain green squares.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like it does suck that the gophers aren't in and around. And you know what would have been cool, man? Ask if you could have borrowed your zombies. Put them on there. All right, so there you go. And what was the flag? Was that supposed to lift, or you just had it there for a reason?
Nah, they stuffed it up. It was meant to be. It's lifted up. You can see it's on a hinge, and they pushed it down for whatever reason because they needed to. They just forgot to put it back up.
Sabotage, mate. Internal sabotage.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into Andrew and Damo's construction, demolition, city build again, which there's a crap ton of bricks built in this one as well. When we zoom out in a second, you'll see like the amount of detail and build that these guys done, like Scotty and Owens. It's like, how are you building all this, including having all the mechanisms? Yeah. But one thing I didn't get, and Henry, you might be able to pick it up, or someone in the chat, or even you, Bilsy, Brickman got the half an hour with Brickman, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But what I don't get is Brickman built the crane, the crane movement thing. And if you go back to season 1, Kale built a really good crane on our very, very first episode, exact same as this. He actually did, just so he could touch the lights with the roof. But Brickman said, build another one the opposite way.
I don't think he said the opposite way. I think he just said, I can't build it for you, so I'll build it and you have to copy it. That's what he was alluding to.
But then when he handed it to Damon, he said, build 2 of them and build the other one the opposite way.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure. And again,
someone in the chat. So
when you play the video, is one crane going clockwise and the other counterclockwise? Maybe, like when it's
sure.
I have to watch it again. I thought, well, is there more than one crane?
Yeah, there is. There's one there at the start, and then there's another one in the middle of the city street. See?
Yeah, but they're doing the same thing.
Oh, they are doing the same thing.
So let me see if they do a full zoom out photo of that one. We've got to go back. I think, and it sucks that these are gone so quick. You do miss half the builds, but you watch when this ball goes down, right? You got to keep in mind outside of the the crane movements. Like these guys built the entrance and then their conveyor belt up here. Then they raised whole street with the buildings, and then coming out of the buildings into the escalator. Like these guys would have look at all that. Like that's
Man,
not
it's
just
such a good build. It's such a nice, good build. You know, like so many different elements of a city.
They
Like
had a GBC train station. Like check that out.
Yeah, the subway down there.
I never even saw that. That's great.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, and then obviously the panel build's kind of quick, and I loved what they did by using the people instead of the fingers.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
technic pins. Like that's a cool idea as well. But you gotta give it to the boys. Like, you know, have the ball coming through, using all and going through, and then the end having a train station and train track as well. You notice it's train track or train track alike, mimicking it. Yep. To get it up. So I think the boys done really well to sell like a full blown mini story.
Yeah.
And then all right, well then we'll let that go down the pipe and we'll go on to the next one. Into the chef's kitchen. And again, like you can say, I guess, all you want about the non-fanciness, the non-movement, they're just done that direct straight line. And Caleb was the first one out there that said, it's not his strong suit. He doesn't build like this. But awesome credit for them to, go out on a limb and make the best of the theme.
It's not clumsy at all. Like it's very elegant. Like I'll say it here, right? There are elements of our build that's very clumsy, right? That's quite refined and elegant, like the little parts that they have. It's very cute. It's very nice.
The story is great. Like, look at all the food on the floor there and stuff. Like, I know you guys had a story with the gophers and you had the flags there and all that, but look at all that food and detail there in the kitchen. They did really well.
And it does so, the whole chef thing, the cooking thing into the mixer. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, my man. And then up into the end.
Legend.
And deliver. I guess where one thing on this story is where they knew they wouldn't have been as advanced as others in making the ball move around and up and down and sliding, whatever. They lent on that story, and you can't knock them. Like, you can look at that in a half a heartbeat and it's sold the story. You know what's going on. You know what's happening.
Yeah.
Credit for that one, I guess. And then into, which is next level freaking awesome. Like
that's one of the best builds in the room. That's insane,
mate. Like this pinball machine is fun fact as well. I think I told you the other day, Henry. When I first auditioned, it wasn't nowhere near this kind of level and detail and scale. When all of us audition, you go and you build in this big room with all other people to get to the next step to get onto the show. And you get like so many bricks and plates and stuff. And me and my first original friend, Joe, we built a pinball table because the brief was, remember the brief, Henry, had to build a sphere, something that had a ball or a sphere for the very, very first audition.
Yeah.
You had to build a sphere. So, we built a ping pong, like exactly what happened. But instead of a ping pong ball, we built a pinball out of the sphere and then a pinball table.
And the mechanisms inside it, right? And the mechanisms inside it. It looks so good.
Yeah. And for it to hit and get hit from the paddles as well, like just adds that.
Yeah.
And look again, again with the TV missing details like they did for you guys, you completely have missed coin slot and a plunger.
Yeah.
Like you've completely, they didn't show none of the. They show it, but if you're not pausing it, you're missing out on some wicked detail on these builds.
That's right.
And then into one of, for me, probably one of the best builds in the room. Like
insane.
Gabby and Ryan's, like the guitar, then the amp behind the guitar into that piano.
Yep.
Like it's bloody done so well. So good. And even like the piano, when it zooms out, like even the feet down here, the feet are playing.
The pedals are moving,
Like it's bloody fantastic. Like a full-blown piano just to get, who builds a full-size piano just to get the ping pong ball across?
Yeah.
And then obviously all the hidden, look how happy Ryan was. What a legend.
Really well done.
And what a great way to finish the whole, and then the metronome, the yellow metronome on top. And for those that don't know what metronome is, it's literally a thing that ticks in beat.
Yeah, and I'll let everyone know that was no bullshit. That happened in one take. Like that legit was like no editing, no like that was. We were all like, holy crap! The ball just went around like one go. No,
Wow.
That's what I was going to question you on next. Like obviously, we talked to the other day about the theme park, the grand theme park one, and we can clearly see the edits, right?
Yeah.
The one take, the edits. This
Yeah.
one just looks and feels smooth, and you can already tell that obviously it was a one take. But let's go with you, and you can look around the room for them all doing all the dry runs, all the test runs and stuff. Like, was yours towards the end from dropping it into how say out of 10, how many times was your ball? Was it at a point where when they connected them all like that, was it biting your nails? Holy crap! It only worked 9 out of 10 times, or yours was 10 out of 10?
That was part of the downfall, right? Is that I'm a perfectionist for sure, right? And ours worked probably even without all the funky entry ways and all that sort of stuff. Ours was working probably 8 times out of 10, and that would have been maybe reliable enough for most people to take a punt on. Like even Caleb was saying, like I think he said something like, I don't know, I can't remember the number, but I remember he was saying, it's not working every time, and there was a chance it could get stuck and all this sort of stuff, right? And so, I was just like nothing less than 100% was going to be good enough for me. You know what I mean?
By the end, yours didn't matter what went down. Yours was working every time.
Nah, mine was working every time. You know what I mean? And everyone's, but I was not alone in that. Everyone's was working every time. Everyone's. Some of the nail biting, like, oh my god, the ball stuck on Ryan's piano keys. Oh, please, it was going across every time.
That's what I mean. They did emphasize that, didn't they? That that was getting stuck halfway.
Going the other way,
yeah.
There was nobody's that was really like,
So let's go around the room without not picking on too much. But where were their points of getting stuck? So like you look at Scotty Nolan's windmill. I can imagine, was that grabbing and picking it up every single time or dropping off? Like was that there?
I think no. Like where you see, I think you see it where Scotty's the ball gets stuck in the pond. I remember it was getting stuck in the pond. I think with Gus's one, I think there was like you saw like, and again they did not highlight this stuff enough. Like there was another mechanism that carefully placed the ball into the wheels that launched it. Which was
they do show it really quick.
Yeah, they show it really quick, right?
It's like a real weird flat platform looking thing.
Yeah, so it's just like, it scoops the ball up and gently places it in there. Man, that is next level engineering, right? And that's just glossed over. But that was like, because you can imagine that the ball, the one thing is that it comes with really unpredictable velocity as it comes down the tube, right? Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. The other thing is that your batteries are degrading. Right. So you're running with the batteries and like, let's say at the end of 5 hours, you've got a speed that it's working. You put new batteries in, boom, the mechanism's too fast. It's doing something different. Right. Like that's the other thing. Right. So I remember Gus telling me, I'm not changing the batteries. And I was even saying, bro, don't change the batteries because you got it working perfectly. And he's like, yeah, I ain't changing nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, true.
Yeah. So that mechanism, that is absolute divine. Building.
I show it's back in the episode earlier on, but just easy to explain. The ball dropped off this one, but then that bit there at the back is what he remade the second time to like put it into the tires.
Yeah,
shoot.
So
perfect.
So and then once he got that on there was no stopping David and Gus. That was unreal. It was unreal.
And then like, look, perfect. What a shot! Like you said, I wish someone had that, straight down the gob on camera. So who was the next one? Your point of failure, like you said, was your pickup, but you already kind of fixed yourself on that one.
Yeah.
Going in. Oh, my mouse is not working. Where's my mouse? There it is. So where were these boys having trouble with? Because I mean, there seems,
the same
although their whole build looks good, it seems very, straightforward almost, as in the way the ball travels.
Nah, man. Like, so Andrew, big shout out to Andrew as well. He was like giving me ideas as well for the pickup because he told me the same thing. He said at that first entry point to pick up the ball, really, really troublesome.
G'day, Fargonaut. Long time no see, brother. Yeah, and like, I guess if he didn't have that kind of mechanism work out, like his ball's getting stuck here.
That's it.
Nothing worse than getting your ball stuck.
No. Especially in some always... So what about Alex and Caleb's? You know, where was theirs? If they had, like, was it getting stuck down in here or something?
Yeah, I think it was getting stuck near the fork. I can't remember, but I think it was getting stuck near the fork.
Because, like you said, with ping pong balls, so you imagine this coming through, and for whatever reason, an odd velocity, an odd spin, it hits a corner of it's coming off. You know what I mean?
That was why they introduced the fork, Henry, was because it was getting stuck there.
Yeah. They needed something to give it a bit of push along.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're not going to, build. You're not going to put 5x6 clear panels in the front because that's just going to ruin and hide your build.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the boys ping pong.
They didn't have any trouble. They didn't have no trouble, mate. They were just smashing it. From what I can remember, they were just smashing it.
You know what would have been good if they set this up just for like when they knew. Obviously, I know you're probably not allowed near the builds once they call it, hands off, whatever. But if they had a way that they could just push this across or push something across, so the board never went down. So it literally just messed with everybody and sat in the ping pong machine like for the next 20 minutes, half an hour, where I always wait for it to come down. Just kept getting hit back and back and back. That would have, it's like just kept doing that without it falling through. And cool little hidden roller coaster track too to feed the ball out.
Yeah,
I thought more people would have used that, because perfect width almost.
That's right.
You need it to be really slow at that point. If you can slow the ball down, you can put it on those rails for sure. But if it's coming with velocity, nah.
Yeah.
And then we all seen Gabby and Ryan's
Gabby and Gabby's crack at that guitar is unreal. Like, how good is it?
Yeah,
mate. What a really you don't even think. Kev, thanks, mate. Thanks for the comment. You don't even realize until she built all this is the way I thought that, like, what a genius idea to have the ball running up the guitar as a fret. Like, you could add guitar somehow, but to have it like at that up there, like, genius. Bloody brilliant move. Brilliant move. But yes, again, unfortunately, you got the walkout. This was you up 7 episodes though, man. That's
that is cool. That is cool. And it could have been much worse. You could have lost to Michael. So
oh snap! No,
I need to know though, Bilsy. Do we need to ditch Henry and replace him with someone with inside knowledge now, because we've lost that as of tonight?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, very true. Very true.
I still know everything that goes on, mate. Don't worry.
Hey,
you're part of the furniture now, bro.
I was going to say maybe we could call Geordie up, but I haven't seen Geordie since he gave away the bricks. I don't think Geordie's going to come back either. So we've lost that inside info.
Who's Geordie?
Yeah, exactly.
Still in the steelworks.
We'll need to and it's like, who's going to be as friendly and as funny as Henry to give us inside info anyway. So you know what we do? We just keep Henry on, and Henry, you can just pretend you know what's going on, make up stories, and we'll believe you anyway.
Yeah.
So this person then just smashed their build, kicked it across the room, and then this team, was having an affair, and then this one was this one was I got all the gossip, bro. Don't worry.
There you go. Snowlaner, call up Dave. Well, Dave never got no airtime, so Dave who?
Yeah.
Like, do we really want to know anyone that didn't get on? But I did find this photo today. Caught him. Caught him taking his selfies outside of the Big W.
Hey, that looks like our local.
Mate, it 100% is our local. He didn't buy nothing though, so I think he's just going. He's just going all these big W's, pulling out the Mario he's got in his bag already. Oh, look what I bought another one of. He's only got one.
That's funny. I went to Big W yesterday and ran into Brent Waller. So there you go.
Mate,
must be the place to be.
There you go. There you go. Grizz, you're welcome, mate. All good that you're late. All good. We're just hanging out and chatting to Henry. For those, I saw a message come through before asking where Sarah was. Sarah's been Sarah. We've got Sarah coming on. We just got to work around her. She's busy and she's out of our timings don't match. But for those that don't know, we are at episode or challenge 7, episode 7. There's 14 episodes, so there's more than enough chance to get them on. And I think from memory, we have Dave coming on Tuesday night. Not Gus, because Gus has he's traveling the world.
Yep.
He's out flying. He's out traveling. So, and we probably, I have been talking to Caleb, but again, he's also traveling the world doing his thing in another country in Europe. I think somewhere, Paris, France, maybe. I think I seen him last. Anyway, we'll try. I'll have to send out more messages because it's on my behalf. I get a bit slack sometimes. But let's do a quick rewind of the big Henry, the big H dog. All the way back through all the challenges. I'm going all the way back from Hanging Islands to what else? Over the Falls to the Room. What else was there? Crap.
It was that memorable, was it?
Yeah. No, they just all mushed into one.
We had the
roller coaster car in the theme park.
Yeah. The zombies is definitely bro. The pirates that we did with the rubber ducky and the zombies. We were vibing on those builds. We had a great time.
Yeah. You definitely had grandmaster quality builds.
Yeah, man, and man, I'm just spewing the secrets and mysteries one. Like I'm just spewing that topic alone is like one of my favorite things to talk about. Like conspiracies and that. And I'm just spewing that. Didn't capitalize on it more because man, it was just one of those cool builds, man. And you think, man, like, why didn't I do a moon landing? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Like, why didn't we?
That's hindsight, man. Everyone, that's
totally.
That's you go for an interview. Oh man, why didn't I say that? That happens. You know what I mean?
100%, man. 100%.
If and we did talk about it. If you were to go back now and build whatever, would you go moon landing?
I'd definitely explore the aliens more. I love that stuff. I'd love that stuff. Yeah. But yeah,
someone should have done like Jesus didn't exist or something.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
You know what I mean? Like something really like not that I'm saying I would do that, but I'm saying like someone should have pushed the envelope. Jeez, I wouldn't do that.
Touch religion politics.
Talking about that, I seen a shirt a little while ago now, and it was I met God. She's black, and I'm like, that's a conversation starter.
Wow.
A big flat Earth with water flowing over, and a ship.
Jesus definitely looked like an Arab, right? Like that's what people forget as well, right? He must have looked like an Arab. He's from there.
Well, technically, yeah.
Billy's like, let's move it on, move along, let's go,
really
let's keep going.
Lego builds tonight.
Jesus pulling off a mask and it's an alien. There's your conspiracy bang.
Man. There you go. That would have been sick.
Just like Elvis.
I think I've got to go for your zombies, man. Hands down, they're going to be my most memorable out of this whole season for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh man,
I think the zombies.
Man. The zombies. The zombies was fun.
Especially the one with the random pattern as you went around. It was just
the cross thing.
Really
but now we do expect to see that cross random movement in one of your builds coming up on the next show, on a show coming up.
No, bro, never seen the light of day. I'm done with that stuff.
Actually, I'll put it here first. For those that haven't seen Henrietta's show or Henry's build, now I know Brick Built, he's taken a few designs. I don't know if he told anyone, so I won't mention it yet. People could be surprised. Taking some big, wicked designs. But I'm assuming Wild West isn't coming out this year yet.
Nah.
Okay. So next time, if you guys haven't seen it, us three, we've all got a random big good mix, and we're going to open it up again of Wild West. We can literally make a town, right? I want to see that cross build in your next Wild West building. Dance floor, something, you know what I mean? A shoot off in the main street somehow. I don't know.
It's good. It's good. It's a good little like. And look, I didn't invent that mechanism. Like, you know what I mean?
Yuki did, didn't he?
I think Akiyuki uses it. I think JK Brickworks also uses it. You know, but I don't think it's I don't think they invented it either. I think they saw it in a real machine somewhere, and then they've transferred it to Lego as well, right? Like, but actually no, it's called the Archimedes spiral. I think that's what, and it was by Archimedes. Like, that's, you know, ancient
Archimedes, Akiyuki, same. I get it.
Oh snap!
Wow.
When we went to Japan, he had one of those, but I'm talking, it was like this big, and it was fast. It was like it was on fire, man. This thing was like and not touching. And he had two at once going.
That's right.
Not just the one going in and out. He had two, but it was like this thick, and it had two Technic lanes from memory.
That's nuts.
It was insane. Yeah,
that's nuts,
mate. His stuff. You know, his stuff is nuts. JK Brickworks is a genius. No, you know who my new genius favorite is? And he's a friend of ours, Riley.
Riley from Brick Science, yeah.
Man, the stuff he's building now is like...
Yeah.
Have you seen his motion hand glove he just made?
Yeah, he's so annoying though, man. I can't watch him for more than like 30 seconds. I usually fast forward to the last parts of his video, and because he's a good kid.
It's
and
the way he builds and talks. You got to think, man, that way that he builds and talks and sells his story, that's the algorithm that gets him the views.
Yeah, man. I was going to say he literally is like Brent Rivera or something with Lego, right? That he follows the same format, all that sort of stuff. You know, like, but yeah.
He knows how to nail that. The TikTok generation, you know, there's no resting, there's no time for breathing. It's what's next. But again, what he's building at the end of each of his builds is mind blowing.
Yep.
Like some of the shit he's doing is real. Some of the stuff's kind of, why'd you do that for, man? You know, but it's not really like building. But that one he's using all the sensors he built the glove. I thought that was pretty freaking cool.
That was cool. His Rocket League one was cool as well.
His Rocket League one's going to get him his million subscribers, hands purely from, you know, what's next, Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like he's milking that popular, and why not? Dude's young, dude knows what he's doing. So
yeah.
But again, I think JK Brickworks will be the same. You put both of them in a pressure cooker of Lego Masters, and they would crumble.
You couldn't said it better, man. It's building Lego Masters is its style on its own, like, you know, and it's very different. And I'll say, Bilsy, like, I can see the evolution of the series from when we were on there to what it is now, right? Like when we were on there, I would say there was an innocence about it, right? Like, as in, you know, and you know, there was a lot of like there was no expectations, right? There was no expectations. Like it was just us, and it was really reliant on us producing the good
building
Lego, right?
Anything, yeah.
And now it's like it's a very well-oiled machine, and there's not as much time for, you know, a lot of things, and it's just like, come on, let's go, get building.
And then like I think we mentioned it early on about being grandmasters. It's, you know, if you're building a putt golf course, that's not good enough, mate. What's around it? What's in it? How's it moving? How to get there? What else has got to putt do? Where's the sky doing? Why isn't it a mechanism? Why isn't it doing that? You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to stop you at, that's a wicked build. Yeah, that would have been wicked 3 years ago, but mate, keep going, keep pushing. You know what I mean? And you know, we talked about this to a lot of people now, that where do they go next year? Do they reset? Do you go back to scratch? Where do you go from? Where do you go at peaking at Grandmasters, building pinball machines and pianos to make ping pong balls move, and zombies, you know, with cameras? You ain't going to go back and let's go build a helicopter in a city. You know what I mean? Like, where?
International, bro. Let's go international. Get your passports ready.
No, you know what you do? Teams, not two teams. Lego Masters teams, 5 of yous going nuts for 3 days, not just 10 hours. Blow our minds.
Yeah,
But you know what? I reckon that would. Yeah, man. I reckon, but you know what? I would. I don't know how you do it because the competition element's too hard to sort of replicate in that without compromising the competition element. But even if you had a one-off special where it's just like you said, Bilsy, where you just get teams of people and just go, you guys are a team, let's go. Rock and roll.
Yeah. And like you imagine, so let's go for the ultimate, I guess the ultimate team is in talking about Lego Masters lore, right? LORE lore. If you had, let's say teams of 5, 6, just to be even, right? Yeah. You had you and Cade, Joss and Henry, and Scotty and Owen. Here's 4 days, boys. Go and build me something that does this, this, and this. You imagine you've got a designer, a technic builder, a movement builder. You got dudes that know how to next level build. Then you got Joss and Henry that are, in that bionicle kind of. You've got the peak of the peak. What would you, like this? The stuff that you would come up with would be proper. You could have your own Lego show and travel the world, but you'd also have something better than Brickman could build, and he'd get cut and it wouldn't happen. So.
Bilsy, your channel's just about to go.
I'm sure it's already. Hey, do you know we're barred in Russia, by the way?
Yeah.
Man, heaps of the stuff that I've posted has retrospectively been banned in Russia. It's funny.
Yeah, it must be because it's not on copyright. It's got to be trigger words.
Yeah, right.
Maybe Lego's a bad word or something. Who knows?
No, but even all the season 1 content has been retrospectively getting notifications saying banned in Russia, banned in Russia.
How funny.
Yeah, man. But
Russia don't like you. Kevin say? Several friends in the US, and they say our Lego Masters is far superior to the show in America. It's much more lighthearted and far funnier. Yeah, I mean, Hamish does bring a good element to the show, and that's why they keep him on. But also, and you know what, Australia is just as bad as everybody else. There's still not one show that is not a TV show. Us as Lego nerds want to see, the extra builds, how it built, the extra mechanisms that Henry, with your little teeth. You're never going to get that unless you're at a show and you spend, your own long, hard time searching at it, looking at it. It's just that because I see that's a common problem that keeps coming up. Oh, they didn't show enough building. They didn't show enough that. You got to realize there's no, mate. They don't care about that middle. No. Here's your story. Here's the mush of a happy whatever we're going to make it. They want the ending. And unfortunately, Henry, you literally answered that by saying with Riley's stuff, you don't watch him build it. You go straight to the end.
Yeah.
And that's the exact same as the 99% of general population. They don't care how.
You know what? I do want to watch. I would watch it, but he's just annoying. He's annoying as. And
so are you. That's why people want to go to the end.
How many followers on Instagram do you have, Bilsy?
5,000 normal ones. How many paid followers do you have, Henry?
0.
Not what Cheap Jokes told me. Andy said we have a balloon build show now in New Zealand. It looks like a takeoff of Lego Masters.
Yeah, blow up. Is it blow up? Is that
we're getting it here as well.
Yeah, we got it coming. Actually, Brickman told us that when he was on the show a couple of months back that it was coming.
I'm hosting Meccano Masters on Channel 7 next year.
Oh, yeah. How much shelf space do they have in the toy store?
And I think you got Channel 7. I think you said SBS wrong, man.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Question: is there a way for us Aussies to watch the latest Lego Masters in New Zealand? Probably by VPN, and you'd have to go to TVNZ. Would be the only one I could think of.
VPN or a plane ride to go see your cousins.
Or read between the lines, look in my chat because there's a few people offering some links. Not that I would promote that, just saying. All right. Well, that's episode 7 done. Episode 9, as everybody knows, is going to be all about Mickey Mouse and the Disney 100. It is the 100th anniversary for Disney. For those that do like Lego, you'll notice this year Lego officially have been releasing a lot of 100 nods to sets to anniversaries and stuff. As an actual challenge, we brought it up last Tuesday night that you can see that they're building Disney themes, Disney stories, Disney something. So we'll be back tomorrow again around 8:45, 8:50.
Yep.
I did reach out and asked Paul and Trent if they wanted to come on for tomorrow's episode. So they're going to get back to me. And then for the Tuesday episode, which I don't think has been leaked yet, so I won't mention it, we will have Dave from Dave and Gus. Yeah, it sounds like a TV show, Dave from Dave and Gus. But yes, we will have the Disney tomorrow, then that episode Tuesday. And again, episode 7, there's 14 episodes, so we still have a few weeks left to go. The show ain't over. Henry may be eliminated from Channel 9, but we all know the Bilsy show gets more views in Channel 9. So Henry will be back every night with us as well.
Yep.
This is the only way I'm staying relevant, Bilsy. You're my meal ticket, bros.
I was gonna say the same thing back to you, man. You and your 80,000 Instagram followers. We need that.
Nah, man, but nah. It was an awesome ride, and but thanks to everyone.
Even though ups and downs, you didn't get to hang out with Cade. Obviously, it's good to hear you still had a good time.
Yeah.
Bring on the finale.
Before we do sign out, does anybody have a question, a last minute leaving question for Henry? No, he's not Japanese. Anyone else? No. We will catch you tomorrow night. There's just a lot of love given stuff for you, man. Some love and people calling you legends. I think they're bots, though. I don't think they're real people.
No, bro, I wouldn't expect anything less from your show, mate.
And on that note, that's how we're leaving. See you later, everybody.